Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today I want to do a review of the world's most dangerous prison, which is Cecot Prison in El Salvador. I've heard about this prison before, and we get to get an inside look in this video. And so I'm gonna go ahead and play the video, and we're gonna see what this prison is all about.
Now when an inmate walks into this door, he never leaves. Here are some of the most dangerous people in the world. You can see they have their tattoos. MS-13 is tattooed on their foreheads. Barrio 18. All these guys were once prideful and running the streets of El Salvador. Now they are locked behind bars for the rest of their lives. And he is taking them through a workout where they're doing lunges and they're gonna touch their toes for 10 seconds. The guards here would have everything they need to take down the prisoners. They have just asked the prisoners to take off their shirts so they can show some of their tattoos. As you can see right here, you can see all the tattoos from the 18s on their chest to the 13s. ¿Y todavía se sienten orgullosos de ser bandero?
Oh honey, they look scary. They look scary. I wouldn't want to be in there.
Today I'm here in El Salvador outside of Cecot, El Centro de Confinamiento de Terrorismo. It translates to the Center of Terrorism Confinement here in El Salvador. It is the biggest and most up-to-date prison in all of the Americas. It is capable of holding over 40,000 inmates, and it is home to some of the most dangerous people in all of the world. This prison was specifically designed to incarcerate any gang member that has any affiliations with gangs such as MS-13, Barrio 18, and they are responsible for crimes such as murders, extortions, kidnappings, narco trafficking, drug dealing, any crime that you can possibly think of, these people inside have committed. And it is important for you watching this video to understand just how dangerous this country used to be. This country used to be controlled by gangs such as MS-13 and Barrio 18, as they would make secret pacts with presidents and political leaders here inside the country. However, in 2019, Nayib Bukele was elected as president, and since then, the homicide rates have dropped to record lows, and now it is safer to be here inside El Salvador than it is to be inside the United States or Canada. It is literally the safest country.
If you've heard anything about El Salvador, you always heard a lot of bad things over the years, especially with their gangs. And to be the safest place, safer than the United States, that's crazy. It's safer than Canada. We all know that Canada, you know, everybody says how safe Canada is. So it's safer than Canada and the United States compared to what they used to be. And let's talk about the prisoners. Look at how they look. They look scary. They look like, I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but look at how the prisoners look. Faces tattooed and stuff like that. They look like they did some stuff. So, yeah. And it's also said that no one has ever been released from this prison, ever. So they don't even have a history of releasing people from this prison. So this is crazy. This is, oh my God, scary.
In the entire Western Hemisphere. And come with me today as we enter into Cecot, and I will show you what life is like for the prisoners here, what they are doing to make sure that these people will never leave. And I'm going to show you the technology that they are using inside of this jail to make sure that this country is as safe as can be. Inside of this jail, you get absolutely no service. These prisoners have absolutely no contact with the outside world, and they have no way of getting a hold of anybody. And the reason why they cut off the cell service here inside this building is because gang members used to be able to run their gangs from inside these jails. However, with these new rules that they have implemented, such as cutting off the service, these gang members have absolutely no contact with the outside.
And I also watched another documentary about this prison before, and they said that it's not even cell phone service within a 2-mile radius of the prison. So even the guards like can't even call home. So just imagine these prisoners, it's like once they go in there, they can't call family. They don't get visits or anything. So it's like once they're in there, that's it. Like their life is over. They're going to spend the rest of their life in this prison, and they're never going home. So yeah, that's bad. And it's also said that every prisoner in there has taken a life of at least one person. At least one person. So it could be way more, but at least one person. So all these people in this prison are considered the M-word. You guys know what I'm talking about. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, let's keep watching.
I then went through the first of many security checkpoints. And now they're even going to do another check with us to make sure that we are not bringing anything inside of this jail. They're going to pat me all the way down, and they are even going to check my socks to make sure I don't have anything inside my shoes or my socks. And here inside of Cecot, everything is so simple. They're not leaving any room for any clutter or for anything to be used as potentially a harmful object or something to be misplaced. And now the warden of Cecot will describe the type of criminals that are inside the prison.
Aquí tenemos a los peores criminales que causaban luto y dolor a nuestra sociedad salvadoreña. Lo que tenemos acá encerrado es lo peor de lo peor. Son sujetos que han cometido una serie de delitos, de homicidios, extorsiones, violaciones, privaciones de libertad. Sujetos que tienen condenas hasta más de 1000 años ahí.
And now all the criminals inside of this prison are here for life. They're going to be living inside of Cecot until they die. Before we entered into the main cell of the prisoners, we had to go through one more security checkpoint.
Una de las modalidades que utilizaban las organizaciones terroristas era que utilizaban a sus mismos miembros, a sus familiares para introducir cosas vía oral, vía vaginal o vía anal. Ahora en día es imposible que alguien pueda sorprendernos.
The scanner will literally scan the entire body to make sure there's nothing on the neck, inside the stomach, or even the place where nobody would ever want to go, the butthole. It'll literally check anywhere inside of the body to make sure that they're not bringing any sort of plastic bag that could be filled with powder, any weapons, anything like that family members or friends might have tried to bring gang members in the past. Now it is
but
impossible.
you know what? Prisons in the U.S., they have those systems where they can scan the bodies. But somehow you still hear about cases where stuff is being snuck into the prisons. Well, people also say that guards sneak things into the prisons too. So that could be the main problem, the guards and security bringing stuff in. So they need to check that out too. But the way they got these prisoners, it don't look like they got much freedom at all. So, 80 people to a cell, that's how it is, and that's 80 people to per cell. So they crowded in there. And whatever is done, everybody can see. Even though they probably not snitching if they do see something. Yeah.
For anything to even enter. Alright, now we've entered into where these gang members are going to be. We're going to go face to face with some of the most dangerous people in the world. And as I've been in the process of making this video, a lot of the El Salvadorians and the guards here have told me that when you look into the eyes of these criminals and these gang members, you literally feel the presence of nothing. You feel death. You feel the presence of the devil.
Una vez ingresan, no vuelven a salir de acá. Y eso es literal.
Now when an inmate walks into this door, he never leaves.
Just imagine walking in there. Now let's hold on for a minute, because I also found out about this prison that the president of El Salvador, he basically had it to whereas when he became president, he wanted to change a lot of things and stop all the violence that was happening and the crimes, because El Salvador was out of control. The gangs was out of control in El Salvador. So his way of fixing this problem was having his police officers go out and arrest anybody who looked like they were in a gang. So that's how they filled this prison up. The police officers went out on the street, and if you look like you was in a gang, you got locked up. No matter if you was innocent or guilty. They was going after people with tattoos on their face, tattoos on their body, and things like that. They even grabbed some people up that didn't have tattoos. And I've heard and read articles that talked about this prison having innocent people locked up. And there's a lot of families over in El Salvador that is protesting and trying to get their family members released. And it's actually, sad that this has happened, because there's a lot of innocent people. There's mothers who is crying out about their sons that's locked up in this prison that was college graduates and had jobs and businesses and things like that. And their sons is in this prison because the police officers was just locking anybody up that they seen on the street. And what happened was the president, or the rules were, they had a quota that they had to meet each day of how many people that they needed to arrest each day. So at the end of the day, if they didn't, have enough people, they just start snatching people up, whoever they seen walk in, even innocent people, because they had to meet this quota. Because if they did not, they was not allowed to go home to their families until they met the quota. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, 99% sure they had to lock up a total of at least 1,000 people per day. 1,000 people per day. And if they had 800 people and they were short, before their shift was over, they just start snatching up boys, whoever they seen. So that is crazy. It is innocent people in this prison, and there's people who's talking about it, trying to advocate to get them to release the innocent people that's in there. And from what I've read and heard, and I also seen in a documentary that every day they do release so many boys that they feel are innocent, but it's a small few compared to how many people was in there, because they can hold up to 40,000 people. So just imagine, out of the 40,000, how many innocent people could be in that bunch. That's a nice handful of people. So that's the sad part about this. You have innocent people that sit down. And also, it takes 2 years. They have up to 2 years by law there before they have to let you see a judge. So that means that you can literally sit in a cell innocent for 2 years before you even get in front of anybody to prove that you didn't do anything. That's crazy.
Buenos días. Yeah. Buenos días. So here are all the inmates. As you can see, they are all tattooed up. They have their gang signs up there. Holy cow, you can see the tattoos. And how many people are inside of one cell?
La capacidad real instalada de cada celda es para 80 personas, pero hay celdas que tienen más y hay celdas que tienen menos.
Here are some of the most dangerous people in the world. You can see they have their tattoos. MS-13 is tattooed on their foreheads, Barrio 18, and they're here for life, and they can never leave. And inside of these prison cells, literally,
I do remember hearing, I believe, on the first 48, about the MS-13s here in the United States. So, honey, they done rotated over here. I do remember hearing them a few times. So we do have some of them here. So that's the El Salvador gang. I didn't know that. Okay.
everything happens inside. Here is their bath and their shower. And if they want to go poop or pee, they have to do it in front of everybody. These prisoners have absolutely no control and no freedom here inside of Cecot. And each person inside of this jail is responsible for at least a death of one person. So each person you see right here has killed various people. There's literally no freedom inside of these prison cells, and the only type of freedom they get is they can come over here to this area right here where it looks like they have a preacher and they have some workouts they have to go through. Here they have let out some of the prisoners as they're going to be learning about the gospel. They have a preacher right here who's teaching out of the Bible. This is the kind of workouts they can do. They have an instructor guy right here, and he is taking them through a workout where they're doing lunges and they're going to touch their toes for 10 seconds. It's pretty crazy to see all these inmates as they have their tattoos of their MS-13 or Barrio 18 tattoo on their heads. All sorts of tattoos. It used to be a thing of pride to be a gangster here inside El Salvador. However, their pride has been destroyed and they're being humbled here inside this prison as they're never going to be able to leave this jail.
Okay, he keep mentioning the MS-13s, but in the other documentary that I watched, they talked about at least 4 different gangs, and the crazy part is all of them are put into the same cell. So, like, 4 different gangs in the same cell, and there's 80 men per cell, just imagine. However, the way they have this prison structured, I don't think that these people going in there with the mindset of still being in the gang. If they are, something is wrong with them, because this don't look like somewhere you want to play. They're not playing. And they're not even giving you much freedom. You don't get to even come out that cell except for the exercise activity or the religious services that they give the inmates, which is only 1 hour per day. So, yeah, it's crazy.
It honestly is extremely shocking to look these guys in the eyes and see, and you can feel the darkness that is inside of them as they have committed so many crimes that the light of Christ, or whatever you may believe, is gone out of their eyes as they are stripped away from their freedoms, stripped away from any privilege. And it is important to remember that these people will never ever leave this building right here, and the lights also never shut off. And when these inmates want to go to sleep, they sleep here on these bunk beds that are completely still. And the way these prisoners sleep, they are given one sheet. They don't even receive a pillow, and they don't know if it's night or day because the lights never turn off. These guys were let out of the cell, and if you look at their heads,
they're trying to drive them mentally insane. Imagine that the lights never go off, you don't get a pillow, and all you get is a sheet to sleep on metal. Well, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. And for the things that, they said that these prisoners have done, the ones that's guilty, because I do feel sorry for the innocent men that's in this prison that need to be released. That's the only problem I have with what they're doing. They need to release the people that are innocent. You can't just snatch people off the street. But it is what it is. But if they did it, they deserve to sleep on bricks, honestly, because El Salvador has always been known for their violence. I'm sure, especially people that is older, over 30, you have heard about the things that has happened in El Salvador over the years. So, yeah, they need to be in there.
Really plastered to the cement wall, and they're not moving. All these gangsters are afraid of their life, and their freedoms have been stripped from them.
Gangsters,
as they live.
Honey, I don't think they need to keep using that word, baby. Gangster is gone out the window. When you went up in there, that gangster stuff is over with. You're not running nothing no more. You're better off not even running your mouth. So yeah, gangster is out the window, honey. This prison is the type of prison that will humble you real quick.
Here inside these cells, and these are the rooms of solitary confinement. If a prisoner were to act up, he'd be sent into one of these rooms here. Here they have their bathroom, they get some water, and the only sort of light they have is this little peephole right up here, and they get absolutely nothing to use to sleep or to rest.
Sleeping on concrete.
Just pure concrete. Now, in case of a riot or whatever break out, they have all the equipment to take back to the prison. Right here we have a guard. He has a shield. He has protection from head to toe. And now we're going to go into where all the guns are at and also show you guys that as well. The guards here would have everything they need to take down the prisoners. Has any inmate ever got violent with one of the guards here inside Cecot?
Hasta este momento no hemos tenido ningún intento de fuga, por decir así, o de desorden al interior de la prisión.
These are the handcuffs the guards use to move the prisoners around. They put them around their legs, around their arms, and they have to walk just
with
like
no
this
shoes on?
Once they get them on, because the shackles do not go that far. Inside of the jail, what kind of food are the prisoners given?
En la mañana, por lo general, lo que viene es frijol, queso o crema y 2 tortillas. El menú casi se repite en la cena. Donde varía es el almuerzo, que el almuerzo te viene una porción de arroz, una porción de pasta, 2 tortillas y un refresco.
And so they're not given any sort of meat or any chicken.
No existe un menú que te traiga pollo o carne para el privado de libertad. No existe.
Here inside Cecot, there are 8 different buildings.
So they get no meat whatsoever. I wonder, how do they get protein? Well, beans do have protein in there, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's crazy. They get no meat. Well, that is a luxury. At least they making them, I don't know. That's just crazy. They don't get any meat whatsoever, but they don't deserve it. If they did the things that they said that they did. And the other documentary I watched that I keep referencing back to, they had a lot of people that live in El Salvador and was able to talk about how bad it was on the streets. They had to stop allowing kids to go to school. Kids couldn't go out to play. All you heard all day was gunshots. It was just sad, the way the people was describing what life was like for them before they took all these people off the streets, all these criminals. So yeah, they don't really deserve anything at all. I'm not even gonna lie. They don't deserve anything.
They're designated to the prisoners. The sides of the buildings are the size of a football field. They're absolutely ginormous. And if you were to try to escape Cecot, it literally would be impossible. Not only are there 2 walls you'd have to hop over, and one of those walls is 27 feet high with an additional 9 feet of electrical fencing that is at 15 volts. And there are 27 watchtowers inside the prison itself. And the ground here on Cecot are pebbles, so if anyone were to try to escape or try to walk, you can easily hear because it makes a lot of noise. And after walking around outside, we went back inside the prison to a room where an inmate awaits trial, giving each inmate the right to defend himself for the crimes he's accused of. Right here is one of the prisoners, and he is on a Zoom call right now because he is trying to prove that he is innocent. He's talking to the judge through a Zoom call, and if he wants to talk, he has to raise his hand in order to talk to anybody. And now they have asked the prisoners to take off their shirts so they can show some of their tattoos.
Oh, it's like they proud to tattoos.
Fracción de la MS, 18 sureños están allá al centro y revolucionarios están allá al otro costado.
As you can see right here, you can see all the tattoos from the 18s on their chest to the 13s. ¿Y todavía se sienten orgullosos de ser bandero? ¿Sí o no?
See? It's not funny. Are you still proud to be a gangster?
And after asking one group of gangsters if they still felt proud to be gangsters, I wanted to ask another group as well. ¿Y todavía se sienten orgullosos de ser bandero? And this group of gangsters' response was a little bit different than the last.
No. Of course not.
All these guys were once prideful and running the streets of El Salvador. Now they are locked behind bars for the rest of their lives. It's pretty amazing to think about it, what Nayib Bukele has been able to do with this country. The streets are as safe as they've ever been because...
You know what? They need to do this over here in the U.S. They need to do this in a better way. Like, don't put innocent people on the street. But they called a state of emergency over there in El Salvador, and they came in and, you know, they flooded the streets and snatched people up. They came and did a sweep, and they need to do that in the U.S. They need to get a lot of these people off the streets in these, you know, low poverty neighborhoods. They need to do that. Because how many of these, you know, how many people got to get hurt before y'all realize, like in a place like Chicago, what's going on? Honey, I don't know. But this is crazy. Now, imagine being over here in El Salvador, in that country, and you're a foreigner from the U.S., and you get locked up, and they try to put you in there. I wonder how that would work. Would they even put you in there? Oh, that would be scary. That would be scary. I don't even think you would make it. They probably wouldn't even put you in there. Then again, they might do it. Don't seem like they have a problem with going against the grain. They don't. Their laws are very different. So they're gonna say, "Hey, you did the time. You did the crime. You about to do the time, and you get in there with them." And these are real gangsters. So everybody be running around talking about they gangsters over here in the U.S. Nah, baby, I don't think y'all like them. If you go watch some of these documentaries out here about El Salvador and learn about some of the things that these guys have done. Oh, baby, it's way different than the crimes here in the U.S. These men are crazy.
All these guys are out. And I want to emphasize that behind each one of these people that are inside this jail is a life that was taken away because each person here had to at least kill one person to get inside of this jail. There are thousands of lives that were taken away by these individuals. These are murderers, kidnappers, gang members, horrible people, and now they're locked behind bars for the rest of their life, and I imagine they have been humbled at extreme matters. And as I was saying, these people are all criminals. However, when you do look them in the eyes, and I did try to talk to some of them, they did give me some smiles, and you kind of realize that at the end of the day, everyone is human, but these people are criminals. They deserve to be in here. They deserve to be in jail. I'm sure at one point in their lives, each one of these persons was a good person, but if you make the wrong decisions in life, you could find yourself in a jail just like this. After being...
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, just imagine being in a jail like that where, you know, you're not ever going home. They have never released anyone from this prison. These guys are never going home. I just feel sorry for the innocent people that was in there. And, you know, from what I'm hearing or what I've heard is that they understand that they snatched up innocent people, but to them, it's just a casualty of war. It's something they had to do. They said they don't have any remorse. And if that's what it took to get control of their country, that's what it was. And so these people, they're going to work on getting them out if they can prove that they were innocent. But if not, if they can't prove it, then they're not getting out of there. They even showed in another documentary how the regular civilians that walk around in El Salvador, if they have tattoos, they have to tell the police what the tattoo represent and where it come from and things like that, because they still walking around looking for more people to lock up. Even after getting these 40,000, they said they still have about 20 more thousand men to or people in general to go. So people are scared there. They even went and like took the tombstones and destroyed the tombstones of any known gang related individuals. They went to cemeteries and destroyed the tombstones. And they also showed like a lady who was probably the mother of one of a gang related member who died, and she was in the cemetery. And when the reporter asked her, was she looking for her son's tombstone, she said no, and she hurried up and ran off. And it probably was because she was scared to admit that she was related to a gang member, because even the people that is innocent, if they find out you related to a gang member or had any affiliation with a gang member, then you could be in trouble too. They'll lock you up. So it's crazy there. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to go over that because yeah, that was really scary to me. And there's so many people walking around here in the US talking about how they're gangsters. Nah, baby, they was gangsters. But look where it landed them though. Because a lot of them is in jail and the rest of them, they gone. So that's all I have for you guys. Until next time. Bye.